YouTube， 按dashboard。对，抽出来，然后那下面有个棍儿，这折叠一支起来就好了。
行啊，这棍是这样子啊，是这样子，比较小。啊，我劝你善良。你最近忙吗？
还好吧，还好。
啊。
我这边已经链接发给你了，你看一下，然后声音也试一下。
今天怎么被另外一个人放鸽子了？
我也不知道，昨天晚上给的通知。
谁找的呀？
不知道，我前期。
怎么回事？上去。
然后呢？
上去，对，放勺。
整个就好了。它这儿有一个槽，
有个槽
对，卡住了。你手边紧张呀。
OK， 这个放哪？
啊，放这后面，放对，中间地方。
桑可什么时候回来？
我这边直播已经开了，你看一下，斗鱼那边怎么样？
看上去很快的不错。这样子架着，对吧？
声音也测一下。check check 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 check。check，OK。到时候咱只有2个话筒，你到时候可能需要递一下。听不到说话吗？我在说话，等一下啊。好像没有声音。Hello， 现在有声音吗？现在有声音吗？
对，还是不够长，再放点，拉，再放长一点。哦，对。
声音比较小，是吧 ？OK， 能听到就行。
这个放哪？这个放哪？
也放，都放中间。
全放中间。
对。行的，没问题，就把那个斗鱼的链接发给我，我这边整理发给同事了。
这是一个什么情况？这个比较长。
我这边显示声音已经调到最大了，但是，因为我现在没有用话筒，所以我估计用话筒的话效果会比较好。
哇哦！这个也是，它是放这儿。这次才多少？报多少？
140，跟上次差不多。
有啊，那有人 会多一点。哎，跟我们什么？还是反翻上吧？
在这上面的
啊？
在这上面，挂在这上面。
这样的。哈？
下面，那下面也插不进去了。
对。但是它这边是高速调整不了那个。但是这样，什么叫路径？一个是自然的。哎，这个真
这边跟客服链接我估计不一样，然后斗鱼的话现在还没好。DTalk 的
放外面，这好像不对。你刮这个，我放不上。
挂不上。
那换一个。
对，
就是应该放。这样口这个还大一点。这个是啥？
行了，这边儿先。
哎，跟完全像。对，这个更好。谁做的？做的。但是它不够长啊。哦，够长。哦，这样。好，还有吗？
这个。
这是3个。
哪个档？
DTalk方面。咱俩放。找不到吗？我看一下我的 AirDrop 开了没？可能还有距离是吧？对，
进出就可以了，过来就可以了。
对，是这样。行，我把姜老师这个调，你也去拿点，那个屁是吗？
我刚才那个在开始眯之前我吃了一
点。辛苦了，今天真是。在我包里。对，你就直接拿吧。然后有一个地方我划掉了，你看到了吗？对，我划掉了，有笔吗？有笔。 好的，这个小程序你能不能直接就复制个链接？这个小程序我总打不开。Tony，你看一下这个站哪个位置比较效果好一点？就是这个台子，你觉得放哪效果比较好？还是放这边就讲就好？就放这个位置，然后讲。行。行。OK。咱7点整，咱那个宣传的是6点半，然后之前可以吃点东西，可以稍微那个交流一下。现在有没有声音？能不能听到？能不能听到？我刚才 YouTube 这边是测试是没问题的，是不是收音不是效果很好？我调一下收音，现在声音怎么样？现在声音怎么样？现在有没有好 ？Hi, welcome to the event. We have some free food over there. 那个是好的，现在声音是不是好一些？你给个回复吗？现在声音有没有好一些？你给个回复吗？说那个，好的。还不好吗？声音还不行吗？因为 YouTube 这边说效果已经变好很多了，但是貌似斗鱼那边现在还不是很好。我再调大一点，稍等。Hello， 这个我应该调到最大了。Input value。 好的，好的，好的，延迟没事儿。斗鱼链接这边稍等一下，因为声音还在调试。Hello， 啊，行，我是把我的那些音效设置全关了，不用看内置。之前是，因为 YouTube 那边说是效果很好，现在。OK， 那没事儿，不着急，咱这个还有先试一下。对，或者不行就重启一下，怎么着？电脑。斗鱼有声吗？还是 YouTube 反正行。OK， 行的。好，拜拜。不急啊，那个现在刚才跟国内打了个电话，现在斗鱼那边声音还没出来，然后我先把这个海报下来。嗨。你就说。可以看一下海报。Hello， 这边还在测试啊。这个是海报。OK， 对，然后行，然后一会儿这个。本来是4.5，拍不上，就是一共这些上一个降落。啊 ？Hello， 这边测试现在怎么样？看一眼。我先把这个打开。测试一下，现在能看到这个屏幕吗？能看到，看一下啊。因为一会儿要分享屏幕，所以我现在先测试一下。 OK。Hello。啊？直播间怎么了？被封了是吧？反正那个 YouTube 链接我估计我是不换了啊。你就先调着吧，对我这边还有点事儿。行，好。现在呢？现在屏幕有没有好点？这是什么东西啊？暗屏 ，OK， 我看一眼。我试一下啊，我试一下啊 ，PPT。用 PPT 是怎么样？用 PPT 是现在。然后还有一个事儿就是咱的那个斗鱼直播暂时不行，国内他们正在解决了，但是咱这边信号都推过去了，所以如果他们解决好了，直接到时候上线我给大家转。然后这边的现在比较关心现在 PPT 的情况怎么样？我研究一下。行，我看到你的回复了，然后PPT 这边再看一眼 ，PPT 这边怎么样？PPT 有空再看一眼。哎，有延迟太烦人了。能发一个效果图吗？能发个效果图我看一眼。然后最后再确认一下声音现在没问题吧？ OK。
I'm now using their
我们这边 YouTube 已经 ready 了，好，随时发给然后我这边屏幕什么的，我应该不会再动了，一会儿就直接开始。然后，开始完以后，大概7点多的时候，7点40的时候会有一个转换，就跟之前一样，我会把那个屏幕弄到和嘉宾一样。
Because I made Jay because he's just here with the fire. He's the one who did That's one thing that's on fire.
So you're just compressing, 3 hours. So you make 3 hours. Spend out 10 seconds. Yeah, it sounded like you were going to. It sounded like you were. I was going to. Run this. Run. Okay. Oh, I'm going to hear this. That way, if you wanted to talk about something, say you want to put in 2% 20 seconds, speaking content, that's what you do. That long. True sound after that. Probably go what's up? How you feeling after your Sorry. She's the backup. Oh, yeah. Thank you so much for the vids. Have you seen all the pictures? That's not the vid. It's even not the so funny because all these English friends I have, none of them even should have something. You never understand so we can go from here and that'll probably change. She likes it in practice. So can't you just get this as a student like, hey, I take soccer, Arsenal game, I get some mushrooms and tomatoes. She's like, December 1st, by the way, is the month of we're excited. We're going to do the whole thing, and she's going to very strongly what is her Old English. She's going to make the big beans and the landers, and she's also going to make games. She said it was like strips of soaps that I get over
在YouTube 上开始直播啊，然后收音的话，它是用的就是这个电脑给自带的收音，然后当时您 在站哪边都可以，但是声音希望大一些。
就是卡它对吧？
对，
那个麦克风没有。
麦克风就是现场，就是您比如站那儿，那个麦克风它这儿就能收到。但是可能需要我这次带那 clicker， 可能点的时候你需要回答它一下。
好的，这个行
啊。
反正就主要靠这个，主要靠他自己。
它收音反正收音目前是按照电脑收的。好的，都调制好了，现在。
谢谢。
没有，感谢您过来分享。
一般在什么时候开始？
一般会在7点吧，通知是6点半，然后大家这边先只是聊一聊，7点之前那个一会儿团体会过来，
这个现场他这儿需要这个麦克风的音量
啊，我觉得
还是直接喊就行。
我觉得其实是够的，但是看您吧。这个麦克风我刚才测试是没问题的，效果还不错。然后一会儿Fireside 的时候是2个麦克风，然后可能需要你递一下。这个递是要拿翻过来有3个音盒在中间，然后这个也会直播，到时候我会把这个摄像头打开，就放台之前座位上开一个比较简陋的音响。对。
另外一个人吉他教的，他们俩都吉他教的。我这有个吉他教的，学的这个主要做的是一个one click， 师兄，你这个还是 to B 的是吧？
主要是 to B 的业务。
to B 客户主要是要客户。其实这个做这个其实现在对之前去第4段是他们想做的是那种就一体分段，就有点像是我感觉是那种中央循环，就是中央循环，然后那个大一个循环就加速，但是很容易是两条那方向我需要特别的分私立的分，其实是那个。我其实我那个感觉是我的自立就有渠道的关系，但是国内这个钱 我现在发现自己做的都做的比较细，但是内容很深。然后在国内，我们搞大陆的技术，他们做的来之类的，老板认为要做技术，全还是或者说要他们是一个行业。
做啊，这个协商性很好，主要是他们的内容是怎么样
制造业务但是我们看那个制造业务职业的还是
第一个一个
第二个有二种，然后那个做一些检验
很好，基本上不去这样。但是你们对区块链有感觉的时候，区块链的需求其实我们刘老师都觉得 smart contract 是 smart contract 也是artificial intelligence。当然啊，因为它是自动的运行那个自动的去说条件数据区块是自动运行的。
智能成为定义来着。
这两个没有办法分开的。那当然就是要做这个，就是说因为如果你跟着人的话，现在也不会，他们有灵魂的去变换一下，像最近就是 Stanford， 对啊 ，Stanford 最近就是有 Serum 就是可以放 Serum 放。因为他们发现这是一个学生这样的安排，一年觉得很不一样，然后就看他们这个
然后讲这样的教授，其实我觉得你是讲话当时包括那个当时他以前就是用前2年还用 AI 这样现在都有产品，对他来讲这个简单做，这个如果你要去分下这些事情2个月了。
让他先做马上开始，因为在他就做吧。我打开下一个。Hello， 偶尔咱会那样，然后咱分享一下。
来测试一下，现在声音怎么样？声音怎么样？马上开始了，这边。声音怎么样？来测试一下。能听到吗？这个好像有一些延迟。没有。对，我测试最后再 double check 一下声音。我把微信关了。然后声音现在怎么样？好的，声音没问题 ，OK。 OK。现在55分钟，你先给他说一下，大概有3、4分钟开始吧。我这边最后的 check 一下。
这个，
对，你可以，对，差不多。check。
check。
OK，稍等，给大家说一下。
Yes, the event is about to begin in 5 minutes.
Double check。
斗鱼那边好了吗？
斗鱼也好了。但是斗鱼还是没声音，斗鱼还是没声音。
没声音。
可以。我。
不太完整。
微信。Yes， 上面有很多的地址，甚至都有你的地址。
Yeah。
等我找不出来。但是待会儿调下来吧，等他找的时候你再调一下。
OK。我这边再测试一下声音怎么样？现在我再测试一下声音，最后测试一下声音。都那个 YouTube 声音没问题对吧？斗鱼 OK。好的，好的，都 ready 了，都 ready 了。等姜老师过来了，可以开始。好的，好的，好的，都 ready 了。
光是那个编辑部就还好。
现在6点58分。
因为他们有这个，只按我一个，他也很拍啥，因为我每天都拍。现在中国差不多。这个是我最喜欢的。那个叫什么 ？I 叫 I，I J 的 I，I space。要找做完的，他公司的名字叫什么？他的产品一定是 Apple。
All right, hello everyone. Thanks for coming tonight. Welcome to our 5th episode of DTalk. So for anyone who is not familiar with DTalk, let me introduce about DTalk. So DTalk is the global community lecture series initiated by Talking Data and Sync, bringing high-profile individuals to discuss latest tech topics and trends in data science, machine learning, and artificial intelligence. So with the goal to create a superb tech community for inspiration, passion, and motivation, DTalk will involve alongside with the cutting-edge technology development, innovative invest the future with quality talks. So then let me introduce a bit about Sync and Talking Data. So founded in 2011, Talking Data is China's leading third-party data solution provider, with SmartDB as the core of its data intelligence application ecosystem. Talking Data empowers enterprises and helps them achieve a data-driven digital transformation. Sync, which is founded on March 2014, is the first Chinese media entity to focus solely on reporting machine intelligence technologies. So currently being China's most influential content creator in this space, Sync's goal is to produce professional editorial content in all fields relating to machine intelligence, artificial intelligence, neuroscience, robotics, and any emerging technologies to come. And also, I would like to thank the ZGC Innovation Center to support our DTalk. So today our topic is AutoML. I would like to say that AutoML is one of the most innovative AI technologies in this year. And AutoML is a suite of Google products released earlier this year, including vision, translation, and natural language. So it is designed for developers who have limited machine learning expertise and resources to save their time and create and automatically generate the neural network model. So we all know like training a deep neural network model requires a larger model of labeled data and back and forth experiments. So you choose an architecture, you need to adjust the weights, and also you build a hidden layers. So it needs machine learning expertise. But AutoML is that you just can automatically generate, you can just search the most optimal architecture for your neural network model. It can give you the weights, it can give everything. So it is a great technology, but still it has loopholes, it has challenges, and there's a lot of startups are doing the similar technologies, but which is delivering the better performance. So today we are excited to have Ning Jiang. Ning Jiang is CTO of OneClick.ai, a leading platform in automating deep learning and model design and deployment. Ning has over 15 years of experience in machine learning across multiple industries, including web entity search ads, online retail, and cybersecurity. He was a senior manager at Microsoft, leading search at Bing Maps AutoSuggest, and managed Bing local search in France and Italy in the restaurant segment. Before this, he led the development of Bing as relevance platform and algorithm improvements, delivering paid search experience in Bing and Yahoo. Ning also had experience in developing malware detection and spam detection algorithm during his tenure with China's top security firm. So let's welcome Ning and hope you guys enjoy his talk.
Thank you for coming today. It's a great honor to be invited here to talk about AutoML. I'm a firm believer that AutoML as an emerging technology is going to change how we use AI in next 5 years. But I do recognize AutoML so far is kind of immature. So in the last I'm founder and I'm co-founder and CTO of OneClick.ai. So we built this the OneClick.ai, as the name suggests, is itself an AutoML platform. So in the last 2 years, I and the rest of the founding team has been busy working on this platform, developing AutoML ourselves. We learned a lot about AutoML, and we have our own vision about where the technology is going to go ahead in the next couple of years. So I want to share our vision. And so the talk is going to be organized as an overview of AutoML, and classifies technology into different categories, and also the direction that we are heading, which we believe is the direction of the AutoML.
This is the overview of our platform. So it's basically code-free tool for developing AI. So okay, let's talk about real things. So why we need to use AutoML? Anyone with a real-world experience applying AI to industrial problems will be faced with a couple of challenges. First of all, most businesses simply don't have the expertise. They cannot hire the right people, especially people with experience. So with the increasing demand on data scientists in the last couple of years, it's increasingly difficult to find the right people. Don't think about it. I know lots of people from with IT background coming from IT companies or internet companies. So you think hiring data scientists is kind of easy. But think about most of the businesses in this world have nothing to do with IT or internet. Internet probably just a selling tool, a channel for them. And even very large ones, with hundreds of millions revenue or billions in revenue, don't even have a data scientist. But the nature of AI development is very difficult to predict the results of an AI project. So basically, without actually building the model, without actually completing the development cycle, you have no idea what's going to be the result. Whether the performance of the model going to meet your practical requirements, or how long it takes to actually get there is unpredictable. So that's why basically in nature, AI development is kind of an iterative process. It can last, each iteration can last a couple of months to half a year. That's a typical scenario for my personal experience. Because it's highly unpredictable, so actually most companies hesitate in applying AI. With my experience at Microsoft Bing, even when we build new product, adding new features, we were hesitating using AI. So we start with rule-based first, and then in the next iteration we start adding AI functionalities. So it's going to be a lot more challenging for traditional businesses to use AI. And even if you decide to use it, according to Gartner, last year, more than half of the AI projects failed in the industry. So the financial risk is quite high. So AI projects is a huge investment for almost every business, and most of them are going to fail. So if you are the owner of business, are you going to invest on AI? All those challenges can be addressed by AutoML if technology is mature enough. So with AutoML, because the process is automatic, so you don't actually need expertise to build AI projects. And AutoML typically completes the entire process in a couple of days. So no matter how many iterations you need, you can complete it in a couple of days, then you can afford it. You can explore new technology, try new ideas, and you try to improve the models or the application multiple times in 1 month. It's something that people can afford to try. And also, even if it fails in a couple of days versus failing in a couple of months or half a year, it's quite different. It's a risk that can be taken. Okay, so exactly with AutoML. Here I'm just using definition from academic conference. It's actually SAML 2014. Progressive automation of machine learning. I know it's a very broad definition. It pretty much covers anything that automates part of the AI development cycle. And that's why basically you will see there are lots of technology claimed to be AutoML. They are, but they automate the process to quite different degrees. So we'll make a comparison about different technologies. AutoML has been drawing attention from academia in the last couple of years. Last year alone, I noticed I found 6 workshops and conferences focusing on AutoML. So compared to 2 years ago, I think there was only one SML was talking about AutoML, no one else. And also IBC predicts that in 3 years, AutoML will grow into about 1/5 of the entire machine learning market. That's huge, considering it's an emerging technology. I know that this kind of projection is mostly a belief. It's predicting the future without much data, but that's what people think. Also, there are lots of players, particularly in the US and in China. Most of those players emerged in the last 2 years. I'll talk about some of them. And finally, how the market recognizes AutoML. So here's the search trend for the word AutoML. Since mid-2017, I think the search has been increasing steadily. There, you must have noticed that there are specs. The specs are largely caused by Google announcement about their AutoML projects, even before the product was launched. Okay, so now let's actually talk about the AutoML technologies. So I organized the entire talk into 2 sections. So automated machine learning. Here I'm referring to traditional machine learning technologies, like a decision trees, type of thing. And we also have another section talk about automated deep learning, which is actually our focus. So this is the general framework for traditional machine learning. You have data clients. So basically, once you have data, those are the steps you have to go through to build a model. So consider it's a single iteration in the development process. You need to do data cleansing, feature extraction, and feature selection, and then select a model and do the hyperparameter tuning. Those are the typical things you go through. So here the point is, for each step, you have many different options. I will give you some examples for those who are not familiar with this. So, for example, depending on your data type, there are many different ways to process the data. For example, just as an example, I'm not going to drill down into this, but for example, text. Maybe just a simple natural language text, just the words we speak, but it can also be addresses or other structured information. So if you can detect the type of it, you can break it down by structure that allow you to extract more useful information. So as the first step of any AutoML product, you need to enforce the data type. Actually, not all the products are doing this. Some of them just ask customers, ask users to provide the information. And also about feature engineering. So I'm not going to list all the feature engineering, but I want to emphasize on one thing called cross features. So that will allow you generate new features from pairs of features that are already defined in the data. Just some examples here. For example, for the text attributes, you can divide based on similarity or engrams or substrings. There are many different ways to define them. And if you consider there are multiple text attributes in the raw data, then the combination is huge. Of course, for the numerical data, you can do the same, and it's actually quite critical for some applications. Because the model, the traditional machine learning model you are using here, has limited ability to learn the correlations. So if you don't do those things in the feature extraction step, your model performance will be limited. But the challenges those technology brings is the combinations. The huge number of combinations used. The model cannot perform well with thousands of features. And actually, if you count those combinations, it can be millions. So the next step, people have to find ways to reduce the number of features in your data set. It's called feature selection or feature reduction. There are quite a number of different technologies. You have to make your choices. So all that I'm saying here is in every step of traditional machine learning development, you have lots of choices to make. And for each attribute in your data, you have different choices. For text, for example, text attribute, it has to go through different steps to be processed. You can do spell correction, you can do n-gram, or you can use other technologies to process them. So you have, as a developer, as a data scientist, you have to manually make those choices. And the combination of them is almost infinite. So how do you make the right choices is a huge problem here. That's a process that can be automated. I'm not saying that all the AutoML technology is doing very well on all those problems, but those are where they're heading. Today, most AutoML platforms, actually all technology, actually focusing on the relatively simple part of the problem. It's model selection and hyperparameter tuning. Model selection, because most of the technology actually using open source technologies, so they have, let's say, 20 predefined models that you can find in Python or R libraries. And then they just try all of them. But for each algorithm, you still have a number of hyperparameters to tune, so you have to come up with some algorithm to figure out the right parameters. So the common ones are weight search, random search, and Bayes optimization. Which one works better really depends on what model you are using and how many parameters you want to tune. But those are the common ones. And they are well defined and packaged very well, so they're kind of easy to build. So what are the technologies that I'm aware of in the AutoML space? They are using traditional machine learning models. I put them together in two dimensions. So the y-axis here you can see is how they do the parameter searching. The lower ones are using random search. That works well for a small number of parameters. And the upper section contains technologies that use model-based algorithms, including Bayes optimization and reinforcement learning. So they work better if you have a huge number of parameters to search. But what matters the most is basically if how broad those technologies can be applied to. So most of those technologies can only be applied to structured data. That basically means it's quite easy to understand because they are using the open source technologies, open source machine learning algorithms. They can typically only handle the structured data. To handle unstructured data, there's lots of feature engineering work need to be done. But unfortunately, the feature engineering supported by those platforms are quite limited today. To some degree, it's the nature of traditional machine learning. Doing feature engineering without really understanding what the data is and the problem you're solving is kind of difficult. Later, I will present the solution that we have. What we have talked so far is actually focused on the modeling problem, basically how to build the AI models. But as AutoML is essentially a tool, you can still, so it also does data import, acquisition, and model deployment. And particularly on model deployment, there are a lot of things that can help you, improve the productivity. It handles the API serving, model updates, and does batch streaming, and handles the machine failure, that type of thing, and scales up in the traffic when you use it more. Okay, now those are what we talked so far based on traditional machine learning technologies. But what's more interesting is the deep learning ones. Deep learning, I mentioned that the traditional AutoML actually focused on structured data. To deal with unstructured data, we can simply switch to deep learning. But deep learning actually brings lots more challenges to this space. Let's take a look into how deep learning works here. Basically, on the data cleansing part, it's kind of similar to traditional machine learning. But feature engineering, when we do it manually, we actually do very little feature engineering today. We kind of just encode the data in a way that can be fed into a neural network. So the focus of deep learning, when we design it manually, is actually to design a deep learning artificial neural network. The architecture and the parameters of this neural network decides the performance of the deep learning models. So the focus of a automated deep learning algorithm should be focusing on the design of the model. When we talk about the artificial neural network, lots of people think about this. This is very simple linear architecture. You have the model is designed layer by layer, and the output of each layer is fed into the next layer as input. So that's a very simple one. That's how, technically, if you have more than one hidden layer, the ones in the middle, it's called deep learning neural networks. But it's not how we think about it today. Most of the models we're dealing with are actually non-linear architectures. This is DenseNet. It's an image classification model. It takes only one input, one type of input, a single image, which is represented as a matrix, and then fed into the neural net. But there are lots of connections between each layer. So that makes the entire model not a linear one. This is not over complex because you only have one type of input here. Think about it, if you have many different inputs. You have text, you have time series data, and you have images, you have numerical data all together, mixed. How do you design your model? You cannot even feed it into architecture like this. You have to design your model according to your data itself. So the technology to design neural architecture is called neural architecture search, or NAS. I don't know exactly the term was introduced, but it's getting popular in the last year. The basic idea is you have something called a controller. The controller is responsible for generating the architecture, or you can call it the design or spec of the neural net. Once you generate the neural net, you can train it as normal, just like a architecture designed by a human. Then we can evaluate the training model on the validation set. The evaluation result, or you can call it the average accuracy or average loss, can be fed back to the controller. And the controller will update the model design accordingly. So as you can see, the controller is the smart part. The key thing is it has the ability to generate the initial models, and then it must be able to improve the models, or not necessarily improve it every time, but change the models according to the feedback. In this process, you can see because we generate multiple models, it's an iterative process. So we have to actually build multiple models and train them on the real training data. So if we train thousands of models, it's going to be a very slow process compared to what we do manually. So if we design neural net manually, typically you probably design like 20, 40 in a year, and then you build those, you actually train those models and iterate on your ideas. But if you do it automatically using your architecture search, you can build thousands of models in a couple of days or weeks. That's where its strengths come from. So there are basically two different ways to design controllers. The first one, some people call it the progressive one. Progressive neural architecture search. Especially you have think about the entire search space of neural architecture for your application can be predefined. It's a finite space. And then you assign them a partial order, basically organize them as a tree. Then you can search all those possible models in certain order. And then all you need to do, if you use a greedy search algorithm, all you have to traverse the entire tree and develop each branch in the order that you have defined to figure out which to search for the better performing ones. You can start using heuristics, saying if this one is not worth developing, you want to develop it further. By doing this kind of pruning, you can reduce the number of models you have to train. The other way to do it is using reinforcement learning. So reinforcement learning gives you the ability to generate the model directly, and then you can, based on the model performance, the model performance can be considered as a reward and fed back to reinforcement learning, and causing the internal policies to change within the reinforcement learning model. Then next round, the model will generate a different design. So both there are actual research in both approaches, but the same thing right now. I think I'm heading the direction for the first one. It gives you more flexibility to control which model you want to control. Let's say, it gives you the ability to reuse the model you just trained in the next model for performance gain. So, in this space, compared to the AutoML players, there are very few deep learning AutoML technology has been built. The most prominent one is actually Google. I think early this year, right? Early this year, they announced a cloud AutoML supporting 3 different applications: voice recognition, translation, and image classification. There are also AutoKeras, the open source project that's actually more flexible than Google Cloud AutoML. Of course, because the open source technology doesn't handle the deployment. It only do the only thing it does, and it does pretty well, is to build models. So one thing about AI, the platform we developed is the only other major player in this space. The difference between us is so far all the published research and the other products are all focusing on application-specific solutions, which basically means if you have, sorry, for example, let's take Google Sense example. You have different algorithms. You have to run different code essentially for each different applications. For image classification, the solution is totally different from translation. And the one used for translation is totally different for voice recognition. Why? That's because all those solutions depends on human knowledge about the application, about the data you are dealing with. For example, for image classification ones, people have been doing research in this area for tens of years. We have learned which technology, which particular structure, architecture works, which doesn't work. So if we bring those knowledge into the search space, help us refine the search space, we can make the problem a lot simpler. We don't have to search all the possible neural net architecture. Instead, the search space is typically, let's say, kind of finite. So with enough resources, it's actually possible to enumerate all those models. Of course, they don't do that in total brute force, but without introducing those human knowledge, the existing algorithm won't work very well. Also, from this framework, you can see the controller doesn't look at the data at all. So the problem is, if I don't look at the data, think about controller as a human data scientist. If you don't look at the data at all, how do you even design an architecture that can take the data as input? The only way this can happen is because when they design the controller, they already know what's the data and what's the application. So they know the problem they're trying to solve. So when you have different set of data with different type of inputs and with a different application, you have to design your controller. That's the solution used by academia and by other products. But the problem of that is, for every new application, you have to develop your controller. That basically translates a simple problem into a more difficult problem. Because in general, design a controller is harder than design a specific neural architecture model. And also because it doesn't look at data at all, even when it takes feedbacks, it doesn't look at the data. It takes, let's say, thousands of iterations just to observe any pattern. Because fundamentally, what the controller does is to figure out what kind of policy, what kind of structure that help you track the information from the data. And to observe, there are hundreds of structures you can explore, but you have to explore them all in order to figure out which one works for this particular data set. That's called start problem. So you cannot use the model directly before you try it thousands of times. And also, think about this. Because you don't look at the data, all you do the only feedback you can have is let's assume to make it easier, let's assume the loss here I'm using is accuracy. It's a classification problem. So if the only feedback you are given as when you design the model manually is the average accuracy of your model, there's no other feedback to you, how do you improve your model? It's really, really difficult. The thing, as a result, the controller improves itself very, very slowly. So basically, let me summarize it. There are two fundamental problems. One is the application specific, to develop new solution, new controller for every application. Second, it's very slow because you don't have much any information about data, and you don't have much information from feedback to learn. So, because we will make one-click AI a general solution, and we cannot afford millions machine hours to build those models. We have to make it really fast. So we are trying to solve those by using algorithms. So before we talk about how we solve it, so let's revisit the framework. So this is the traditional machine learning framework. We can turn it into a DAG. DAG basically means a directed cyclic graph. That's a uniform way to represent any, let's say, data pipeline. So the input data goes through different processes and finally fed into the machine learning model that you have chosen. In the same way, we can represent the deep learning framework. The only difference here, essentially, if you consider this as a data pipeline, the only difference is the inner structure of a deep learning model can need to be okay. In the traditional machine learning, the entire machine learning model can be considered a single node in this graph, but deep learning models need to be expanded so that we can see the inner structure. But it can be represented as a DAG tool with the inner structure exposed here. So then we translate the entire problem into learning DAG or improved DAG, because once you come up with design for the DAG, you have a complete solution for the algorithm, whether it's a traditional machine learning model or deep learning model. With this, what I'm saying is one-click AI trying to design the entire DAG altogether, just like in Google ML, they try to design the entire network altogether. This allows us to make sure the feature extraction or state preprocessing is coordinated with the model that you select, which is actually quite important. And also, it allows us to use similar algorithms to design very complex feature extraction process. But even with that, you still have application-specific controller, have all the drawbacks I mentioned before. So how do we solve it? The solution is very simple. We make the controller to examine the validation set first. So think about this. Validations for a data set, for a particular application, let's say we resolve a validation set of 1,000 examples. Then you have those 1,000 lines as input to the controller. Based on the data I observed, I can learn what kind of inputs you have and the characteristics of each input row, and the correlations between attributes and labels. I can learn those things, and use those information, I can design the initial model. when you have different validation set, the initial model will be different. That solves the cold start problem. And then the models will going to be trained on the training data set, which is available to controller, and validated on the same validation set. Because now the controller has seen the input of validation set. The feedback can be given to individual example in the validation set instead of the average accuracy. We can tell the controller the new model you just designed have the example A, B, C, but hers example D, E, F. That kind of feedback, that kind of granularity you have in the feedback helps controller to learn much faster. So in the past, for every model you actually build, you have one feedback. You have a single feedback data point for the controller. But here, because I have 1,000 examples in the validation set, for every model I build, I have at least 1,000 data points that can be used to improve the controller. That's a lot faster than just learning from one data point. And most importantly, here the controller, we use the same controller across all the applications. That basically means if I have seen similar applications before, when you give some data, we will start with reasonable model because we have trained, we have learned what kind of neural architecture works for this kind of applications. And the applications are identified by the characteristics of its inputs. So, to summarize, this new approach works for both deep learning and traditional machine learning. And it works for neural architecture design and also feature engineering, and also data cleansing. Every single step is considered a node, just another node in the DAG. So we optimize the entire thing altogether, instead of just focusing on the model itself or parameter tuning. This method also makes sure the feature engineering we have chosen works well with the architecture that we end up with, because they are generated by the same controller. And because we have a lot more feedback data points to be taken by the controller every step, we can, instead of training thousands of models, we can build reasonable models in 20, 30 iterations. That's a lot faster than any algorithm that we know. To be frank, I have to say, in 20, it really depends on data and applications. I'm not saying that in 20, 30 applications, so we guarantee that we produce a model better than any human can do. But from practical point of view, from our experience, in 20 to 30 models, we can find a solution that, let's say, about 80% time, we can find a solution in 20 to 30 iterations, better than human experts. Okay, then in the rest of the talk, I will give a quick overview of our platform, basically how we use the technology. So we call this technology ideas. It's a foundation of the one-click AI platform. From there, we are able to do automated feature engineering and automated neural architecture search and model selection and parameter tuning. As I explained earlier, essentially those three things are done together by the alias engine. With those things, we have some unique advantage. So, for example, we are the only one that supports the mix of structured and unstructured data of any form. Right now we support numerical and category data, text and image, and time series. We don't support, let's say, audio yet, and audio video not supported right now. But that's mostly about engineering efforts, but we haven't put it yet. We're still a startup. Also, because we optimize the model using these algorithms, most of the time it deliver better performance than humans. And we spend some significant effort to improve the time series models. And developing technologies to help us extract features, information from time series data and very complex time series data. I'm not talking about just a sequence of numerical data. I'm talking about a sequence of data that may contain multiple, let's say, multiple attributes. That really helps us to, let's say, the most popular application of our time series forecasting function is on sales forecasting. We are able to learn the, let's say, information from multiple theories at the same time and see the correlations between the time series and the other factors that may affect the sales. For example, one thing we learned from our model is if customers run promotions, have sales target, and have discounts, those information provided together with the sales records will help greatly on the model performance, because we will use those information to explain why the historical records going up and down. And also we are able to see that the different products may compare with each other, so that we understand that when the sales of some product going up in future may squeeze the space for the rest of them. So and those things are almost impossible to build manually because there's too many factors to consider. Okay, a little bit history about our platform. So we started developing our platform in early 2007. Actually, a little bit earlier than that. So by the time we incorporated, we already developed the IDS engine, kind of version 1. We have been working on its improvements since then. Last year, in April last year, we got funded by Sinovation. And then we started working on the UI and building other feature functionalities like a deployment, that type of thing. So by the end of the year, we launched our private beta. At that time, we started selling our product to larger businesses. About 2 months ago, we released our enterprise version, which allowed us to do on-premise deployment. Especially finance and insurance companies require this feature. Otherwise, they simply refuse to do any experiments on it. Last month, we actually went public. So nowadays, anyone can go to our website and sign up to give it a try. So this is our UI. I have shown you before. The point is this platform really requires no coding at all. You don't need any coding skills in order to build an AI model. And we also handle evaluations and give you different ways to analyze your data through our UI, so that you can choose the one that fits your needs. And the deployment of the model is just one click. So there's the API button, click it, and you will get model deployed. And all the maintenance happens in the backend automatically. I would encourage everyone to sign up on our platform. And right now, if you're using the promo code, you get the double tokens. Basically, you can run more experiments than regular users. Thank you. That's basically about this talk.
And then we have a 5 to 10 minutes question Q&A with Ninja.
Yeah.
Yeah,
please.
The problem is to make the subspace infinite, you need infinite compute workloads, right?
Mm-hmm.
So now, so one of the things that I missed here is, so are you looking at the data and more or less have a rule-based system which determines like which of the models you converge to, and then you are optimizing on the different type of parameters, or like how are you constraining this space? And the second question is, even with that, it needs a humongous amount of compute. So how do you plan to compete against Google, who can just scale its compute like in modern day?
The question is about the complexity of the applications. So the search space could be very, very huge. So it takes greater computation resources to find the optimal model. So we certainly cannot compete with Google on computation resources. So we have to start with using algorithms. We have to build algorithms that take, let's say, that iterate faster and converge faster to the optimal model. So that's why basically, that's why we force our algorithm to take a look at the data before generating the first model, and all the feedbacks is also based on the validation data that we can observe. So once you can observe the data, think about how. Let me explain it by explaining how human data science works. So, as a human data scientist, you certainly don't just redesign your model based on average accuracy of the model you just designed. You will take a look on the validation side. You say which example got improved, which doesn't, and try to understand why. And then create assumptions as hypothesis, saying, let's say, this kind of thing, kind of similar to the other work I have done before, and then maybe this particular substructure will work better on this piece of data. So you will introduce that kind of structure into your model and give it a try to see if it improves those examples that doesn't work well last time.
So this connection is still logical, like to reduce the.
Because we're building a general solution, so there's no human involved here. We cannot really build it using rules. We actually use reinforcement learning and using technology called policy gradient to update the reinforcement model.
Now, one last follow-up question on this. So then, are you targeting the entry-level market for because experienced data scientist knows better. He can do embeddings, he can do cascaded models and all those things. So is it more targeted towards a market which has like more entry-level data scientists?
Depending on who you are going to call as experienced data scientists. So as I mentioned, actually most of our current customers, at least business customers, have a research team. Most of the time, about 80% time, to my estimation, the model built by the platform is better than what they have built in the last couple of years.
Okay.
So it's kind of similar to, when it comes to image classification, for example, those auto ML models are already beating or comparable to the best models that human was able to build so far, after so many years of research. The same thing happening in other applications, and because most of those applications are, let's say, business specific, they based on their particular data. Even they have a research team, they have just a couple of people working on this, and the people comes and goes. So the investment on those applications is not as heavy as image classification. So that's why that actually help. I mean, you don't have to find the globally optimal solution in order to beat them.
Okay.
Yeah.
See your point.
So I classify the entire AI applications in two categories: the head and the long tail. The head ones are, let's say, self-driving cars, face recognition, that type of thing. You can actually have a few talented researchers to build best models, and there are finite number of models to be created for the head problems. But there are huge long tail. Those long tails are more business oriented, solving problems based on individual business own data. No one can build models for them before acquiring their data. Those models, applications are built today by hand, by consulting services, or by their own team, by a small group of people. But the number of applications is huge. Think about the very simple ones.
So in other words, time series data is one of the things that we are focusing on.
Yeah, so focusing on one of them. The kind of promotion I run is different from any other business. And the sales target I set, the discount I set, and all different. And products I'm selling are different. So you have to build a model, develop a model, a solution, specifically for my own scenario.
Okay.
And that cannot be solved by external research in general. So you have to have a custom solution for me. And the developing custom solution is super expensive. And without the right person, the model is not going to be optimal. And 1% of improvement in the accuracy of such model can easily translate into 1% of revenue increase. That's why basically this kind of technology is greatly needed in real world business.
Yeah. Okay, so we are going to have another Q&A session after the second part of the fireside chat. But again, thanks for the insightful talk, it's very impressive. And let's move on to the second part, our fireside chat. And I would like to introduce our other speaker, Dr. Sue Xu. Dr. Xu is a managing partner at Middle Capital, and her focus area of investment include data-driven solutions and blockchain Web 3.0 prototypes. She sits on the board of directors of Yono and was interim CEO of Candy House. Since 2012, she is involved with more than 130 investments, including Assembly acquired by Cisco, Obvious acquired by Amazon, also acquired by Facebook, Human Longevity, and many others. And she has also started to research next generation blockchain protocol since 2014 and involved in the seed and 8th round of Streamlabs, which incubated when the most anticipated ICOs in 2018, Divinity, and also participate in pre-sales and ICO of Divinity, Oasis, Trust Token, New Cipher, and many others. So let's welcome Dr. Xu and let's welcome Lin Jiang for our fireside chat. We are going to discuss about the latest tech topics, AutoML, and AI investments. So my first question is for Sue. Just introduce a bit about Middle Capital and what sort of companies you're looking at.
Okay, so Amino has been around for a little bit over 5 years, and we started with this new model. We have over 80 limited partners, and also they also contribute with deal flows. So basically, they all executives at tech giants in the valley, and including some other tech giants founders or executives from Asia as well. And then I think we currently have over $250 million under management, and we are actually doing our third fund with committed 100 million venture fund plus 150 million committed crypto hedge fund. So simply because, as you can actually tell, it's basically our own money and some friends' money. So we actually have a strong drive to invest in the next generation of web, including AI and blockchain. So our investment theme has always been data, and because when you actually doing the year of 2012 when we first started, a lot of the fund, stage agnostic funds has been saying the internet is not efficient enough. So we want to invest more marketplace, Airbnb, that kind of marketplace. But for us, we are scientists by training, and also we have product experiences at Google and Facebook and Airbnb. So we understand data is actually the real barrier rather than demand. For example, like a lot of so-called marketplace, consumer marketplace, of course, food delivery, of course there is demand. However, when you actually try to raise the next round funding and you failed, you try to sell yourself to the tech giants. When they look at these engineers and also their products, they were saying, I have those data, and it's not unique. Facebook not just have the, which restaurant you like, and also Facebook knows your social graph, and they know how many family members you have. So your data is not actually very unique to us. So that's why when you get acquired, oftentimes it's just an acqui-hire, so it's not a lot of return for investors. So that's why, but back then in 2012, not a lot of people invested in people with beautiful training like you, and have very strong analytical skills, try to come up with something amazing. And then, so we decided to set up a fund, invest in data. So I can talk more about our business, but data is actually always the same. I think for many years to come. Yeah.
In the speech, you mentioned a lot of positive impacts about AutoML. It is certainly an emerging technology and has a huge potential. But is there any technical challenge that AutoML is facing right now? And is there any potential negative impact or shortcoming in the nature of AutoML?
There are a lot of challenges. Some of them I mentioned in the talk. For example, today, if you look at the open source technologies or published research, it's application specific. Basically, you translate the development of a specific model into a specific AutoML model, which is actually more difficult to do, require more expertise than developing the application-specific model. So that's today's number one problem, I believe. And fundamentally, that's because in this space, the algorithm in general not mature enough to deal with a very huge research space. Think about if you don't have any knowledge about the application, which is the case the AutoML technology faces when they look at the new piece of training data or new applications. I don't have any knowledge about it as the human engineers may have. The human, even for simple ones, for example, let's say a naive one. If I'm learning something about the users on a website, I know that what information I can get for user IDs, and if there's user's name, I probably know the name not going to bring any value. So all those common sense knowledge will reduce the search space for human engineers. But for AutoML technology, we have to figure it out automatically, and which is actually quite difficult because the trivial combination of features is actually very extremely huge, and you have to rule them all out. So that we were solving this by using what I call shared controller, so that we can accumulated knowledge across different applications, different data sets, from different users, so that once we train, let's say, for each application, for each data set user have uploaded, we build 20 to 30 models. Once we build those models, the feedback becomes cumulative knowledge that's going to be used to train our app, improve our controller, so that over time, controller becomes smarter and smarter because they've seen different data sets, different applications. It think at the lens when I should use what kind of technology on what kind of data. So that's the key in our case. But it's still something we're working on right now on a daily basis to improve. It's very challenging. And the other one is the AutoML technology I talked so far only solves part of the technical problem. The AI applications actually beyond the barrier for AI application is beyond the technical challenge. In a way, most businesses simply don't know what AI can do for them, what kind of applications they can build on top of the data that only they have. So they're limited by their imagination and their understanding about AI. How do we solve that problem is actually more challenging. That will limit where we can apply AI and how much value we can extract from your data.
And next question for you. For example, like the OneClick.ai is just raised the funding from Innovation Ventures, and also there's a lot of AI companies from 2016 and 2017. We have witnessed an AI investment boom. So how about this year? What are the opportunities that you're really looking at in this year? And also you can feel free to share any insights in the blockchain industry as well.
Okay. That's a great question. Actually, for AI, what is AI? So to us, AI is always data. It has to be big data and also annotated data, and also plus analytical skills. Like if you just created data and then you're just making garbage, but you have to know how to actually, come up with an algorithm and to snowball your data and to make your product better. And third is actually domain integration. So you don't know how many times at the, Microsoft Research and PhD, Stanford PhD, and they were telling us that, oh, so, I actually published a really top-notch paper at CDPR, and my, my training is really just, before we use like millions of data sets, but now I just use like thousands. So, but what is this like used for? So they really want us to introduce them to some sort of like expert in certain domain. Either, the most difficult one are fintech and healthcare. Why these two? Because these two areas, software and social mobile hasn't eaten yet. So you don't actually come up with our Facebook and your Mac record here. So, and these two areas are highly regulated. So you have to have a really strong, usability and scenario for the doctors, for banks to adopt your technology. Oftentimes, AI has a chance. Same thing with blockchain. You can always say, what is blockchain? Blockchain is actually the blockchain technology. A lot of people like smart like you guys probably takes 3 months work. And plus, data economics. So you have to incentivize everybody to contribute to your network voluntarily. And third one is actually the, domain as well. So that's the promise and also the future of Web 3.0. So these two technologies, either combined or individually, can actually be the next wave. So for this year, it's a very interesting question because in the year of so we invested in Audience way ahead of AI hype. So basically, when Audience started, they're just facial recognition API, and they have millions of API calls every day. And then suddenly, there is a company, they actually came up with an app, a very fun app. So they use their API to actually rank the places in around certain location
the most interesting, the most fun places for men. So how did they rank that kind of places? It's just using facial recognition to actually see the basking face of men in certain places and rank those places. So that company was acquired by Google just a couple months later. So they were like, the acquisition price is more than their valuation. They're using their API. So then they suddenly realized, I can't just do this. I wanted to come up with my own app. So they actually came up with an app which is called Photo Time, which is like 2 years earlier than Google Photos. And when Google Photo came up, that was like the most interesting project all the other tech giants are looking for. It's really just solving people's photo album using facial recognition. So then they were acquired in 2016, early 2016 by Amazon. And then it's very successful acquisition. It's not just acqui-hire because Amazon AWS rebrand. Oh, you're from Seattle. You know them pretty well. So they rebrand facial recognition API to be the free product on AWS. So that's a very successful story. And then later, so how did the AI hype came? It's all because of Tesla. So in year of 2015, Tesla actually launched their car with this level 2, autonomous driving function, and then everybody freaked out. And then, GM buy Cruise for $1 billion, and then Zoox raised $200 million under $1 billion valuation. So that's the hype. That's the hype. And then when there was hype, our company is already acquired. So that's for early stage investors. We not try to invest into a hype. We try to be ahead of curve. So this time, again, very interesting. When there was a hype, 2016, 2017, AI hype, really big. And then just a couple of people with no data, just analytic skills. For example, like just PhDs, so from Stanford to raise under $1 billion for us. I think it's a little bit overvalued. Well, they just raised another. But there were so many of such companies. And then suddenly, in 2017, and then blockchain came. So in April 2017, we actually invested in a company called Go. Their market cap, they're trying to do an ICO, and their market cap is only 30 million. Nobody was sure, is ICO really working? But we were very excited because we know their token economy really makes sense, and they already have scenarios in Southeast Asia equivalent to Alipay. So we actually got into the pre-sale under market cap like 15 million, and then after a couple of weeks, it went to market cap 1 billion. So that's the first ICO unicorn. And then what happened next? Not a lot of people investing in AI anymore. And then, suddenly AI become a very good, undervalued investment. Why? Because if you really want to start a company, the really good company, is not because the founder was thinking, I start a company, there was a hype, how much money I can raise. It's really because somebody has a great idea. And then they actually have a product that everybody wants. So they have to, establish, incorporate to actually serve those customers. And they just need a little bit of money. So that's why people like you and some other companies, and company we invested, they want to start a company. Because they just need a little bit of money. They don't care whether there's a hype or not. So same thing with blockchain. Right now it's very undervalued because blockchain at the very fast at the 2018 the Bitcoin price just Bitcoin market just crashed. But when it crashed, it's not just like 1 month, 2 months. 3 years ago, a couple of years ago, 2014 to 2016, it's been that low for 3 or 4 years. So nobody knows what's going to happen next, but why there is a company want to start a company in blockchain right now? Because same reason, because they really have this product that everybody wants. So that's why we are very heavily invested in early stage AI blockchain companies right now.
Just want to add to that. Kind of my feeling about AutoMail is about the same thing. So AutoMail is at a very early stage in general. It's really emerging technology, getting public actually from last year when Google made the announcements. Most people still don't know the technology, even don't know the term yet. But the market heading for is different from what the AI hype is all about. The AI hype we have heard so far actually about head applications that's targeting the consumers. So that's basically kind of one company build a technology, build a solution, and used by everyone else. That's a kind of consumer-facing technology. But AutoMail can unlock the potential of business applications across all the businesses. Today, because we already built this platform, so we talk to many business industry customers. And surprisingly, we found let's say for a company that generates hundreds of millions of dollars of revenues a year, or even bigger, don't even have an expert can tell them where they can use AI for. And particularly as an example, how much value this kind of automated AI technology can bring to those customers. Just look at the sales forecasting. Typically, before we jump in, their forecasting accuracy is about 70 to 80% accuracy. And if you are a manufacturer, you have to stock lots of products in your warehouse in order to meet demand, which you don't know yet. And or you're simply going to lose your sales opportunities. But by using technology that we offer, in a day or two, they turn their accuracy to something about 90%. That means more than 10% of warehouse saving, or they can increase their sales by more than 10% in a couple of days. So that's what technology can bring to those traditional businesses. And there are huge value in it. That because the AI is so difficult to use today, so those values and this market doesn't exist. We need new technology to unlock it, new and better technologies. And that's the emerging technology.
It's very interesting. Next question is for both of you. It's a very general question. Sue, how do you know it is a great company? And for Ning, what is an ideal investor for an AI startup, especially when you're doing such a a technical aspect of AI? Like what sort of investor is ideal? Who do you want to start there?
Okay. From our perspective, as a co-founder of a technical company, so because we are working on emerging technology that its potential hasn't been fully recognized by customers and the investors and entire community. So what we need investors with the technology background, essentially, so that they can tell the difference between what we do and the others. Because it's not a market, there's not too much hype about it yet. And it's not a market that everyone can recognize. Most investors don't talk to those our customers directly. They don't feel the pain of the customers. So they have to be able to, somehow determine what's going to be the bottleneck and whether it's a problem that was solving from their own experience, from their own expertise. And that's why they need some degree of expertise in, let's say, AI development or have seen similar projects before, understanding what's the bottleneck, what's the pain in the manual process of building AI models. The other thing is because I see emerging technology, so I do expect the return going to take a little longer to, to reach its full potential. I believe the long tail applications is huge, but the market adoption not going to happen in one day. So we need investors who are willing to invest at the early stage of the market before it becomes obvious to everyone else.
Yeah, I totally agree. I think for us, as an investor, as early stage fund, a new fund, this is our third fund. So we're very proud that this is not our first fund because I think it's very difficult to actually raise the third fund because your track record is there, and then you can't just come up with a story to attract investors. So we're very lucky that our new model really worked with tech funders, like what you mentioned. And then our partners not just understand the technology, but also a lot of them actually are researchers and scientists by training, but they also actually understand the products. How do you actually design a product? A lot of we have 3 full-time partners previously at Google, and then 2 of them joined Google in year 2000, and then 1 joined in year 2002, and they were really pioneers and in Google. And then in Google, not every product came out. Wow, like the Google Doc, the Google Doctor, Google Health. So Google actually spent a lot of money, unlimited resources, and they tried so many products. But our partners' products, they have experienced really successful products. For example, Google Image Search was actually created. One of the authors, one of our founding partners, who is Dr. Chu, and then who joined Google in year 2000. And also Asian language search was actually created by one of our founding partners, Dr. Jun Wu, and also account security. And then our partner Max Eibel has been in charge of it for over 18 years until recently joined us full time. So basically, our founders have been there, have done that. So I think Andreessen Horowitz, they're on their blog, they really summarize very well for good VC. So basically, there is 5 C. One is cash at the bottom. So if you are a real investor, there was always people that play investor. So if you're a real investor and then you have cash, everybody has cash. And then to some extent, you make so much money or you can raise so much money, you have contacts. So for example, like companies that we invested in, we can put up a list of investors, a list of potential customers for them. But what's different on top of that is connections. So what's the difference between contacts and connections? That oftentimes you go to potential customers or potential investors. Your investor actually recommended to you or introduced to you, and you still feel like I still have to do my pitch. I still have a lot of questions. They don't seem like us or trust us. That's contacts. But if you actually come to see the clients or come to see an investor, and then you feel like you're very well welcomed, a lot of holders, they know us very well, and then they really wanted to work with us. They're ready to sign, the PO, you're ready to write the check. That's connection, because they really truly respect your investor, and they have, they're better at some point. They can actually influence the connection, potential clients and potential investors. So that's connection on top of that. And then on top of connection is content. People like you actually invited a lot of investors to come to your show. So some of the investors, they're very articulate. They think a lot. They try to be influencer. They try to actually be thought leader. So that's very, very important, because for people like entrepreneurs, all investors want them to be influencers. And if you want your portfolio company to be influencers, you have to try to be an influencer. So that's why that's content very important. And then on top of that is what you mentioned. capability. So if this company, funded by, so remember what I talked about AI, a lot of people talk about AI, they said is big data plus analytical skills plus domain expertise. So you can come to start a company from, anyway. And for you guys, you come with like analytical skills, which is great. But there are some other people, they have a lot of data, but they have great product, they have a lot of users, but they don't know how to analyze those data. And then, or there are people that they have really good, capability in certain traditional industry, like automobile, fintech, but they don't know how to make a mobile app, and they don't know how to make robotics, and they don't know how to analyze data. So for those entrepreneurs, if they need, interim CEO, if they need VP of sales, and then we have people ready, we can do that for them. So that's one of the best VC that you can get. So I think to us, if we really invested in people, we actually, because we feel very comfortable to write first check, and then we know, everybody we invested in, we know that, we trust that you have a very good background, that you're capable of doing certain things, and because oftentimes we can always find a reference, and we know that you're capable, but you have to be also to be coachable. So a lot of times, I really recommend entrepreneurs to, raise funding is just a start. It's more to get engaged or even get married. So how do you actually be successful is how do you treat your investor. So you don't want it to be like, oh, I raised money, I left, never, bye-bye, don't see you again. And then when you're in trouble, and then you're saying, my company have only like 3 months runway, maybe need more money. Very difficult for your investor to make that kind of decision, at such short period of time. But people are some sort of like people. So human nature, we really like to be around, and then be around meaning that. So that's why we have more like a co-working space at the downtown Palo Alto, really close to Stanford. It's our office, but it's like too big. So we have our entrepreneurs to be residents there. Why? It's not because we just want to offer free space. It's actually not free. Because we really wanted to be together, especially in your early days when you just get started. And then you really wanted to grow that kind of business instinct. Because those business instincts becomes, muscle memory. When you have challenges, when you wanted to make a decision with only 10% of the information that you have, and you have to make a decision, you have to make a deal. So those, instinct, you have to, be with somebody. It could be your dad. It could be your wife, your husband. It could also be your advisor, mentor, investors. So I would recommend, people to take advantage of the relationship and really calculate this relationship.
Yeah, that's very interesting, the insights, in the investor and entrepreneur relationship. Next question for Nate. You're doing something that Google and Microsoft is doing as well. So that's a competition. They have a lot of computational resources. They have expertise. So how do you manage to stand out in a race of AutoML?
I think first thing is we approach to AutoML from a different angle. So as I mentioned earlier, everything else that we have seen so far, application specific, which is great, which is natural extension, because I want to build an image classification model. So now I want a better model. So I build algorithm to find a better image classification model. So that's a reasonable approach. But we started by thinking, myself and my co-founder Yuan Shen have been building different applications in our career. So we see lots of commonality between them. So we want to abstract those things out so that we have a generic solution that build model for all different things, for all different applications. So we start from different angle, and we start actually earlier. So our original engine was developed, has finished the development early last year, like on January, February, around that time. because it's not a standalone product, so we wasn't launching that product. But we used that and built some supporting components to get the funding. So that's one thing. So we started earlier, essentially, and we think we are solving the right problem. But fundamentally, the technology we are building allow us to gain and learn domain knowledge because as I mentioned, it's a shared model between all different applications. The more applications we see, the more data sets we see, our platform becomes smarter and generating better model at first shot. So that gives us a competitive advantage for compared to any other people trying to clone the same technology. So what we have, I personally believe what we have is going to give us about 2 years edge over any company who wants to build similar products. And in 2 years, we should have enough customers to allow our platform to be really smart. So anyone trying to catch up is going to be very difficult in 2 years. So that's from the market, from technology point of view. Yeah, I think that's it.
Last question for both of you. For Ning, like you are previously a big engineer. So what is your motivation to found a startup, and could you share any learning and suggestion for anyone who might want to, have a plan to start their own business? And for Sue as well, like what is your suggestion for someone who wants to start a new business?
Yeah, I just want to add a little bit, and I think the key for competing with giants is actually get unique data that the giants don't have. It's not that difficult. And if you actually, so companies that we invested, like Gorilla, and they have genomic data that Google and Facebook haven't had yet. So they're being around only for 3 years, and their valuation is over 1.5 billion. But comparing to only doing algorithm, do you like AlphaGo? You love it, everybody loves it. It's not a unicorn. It was acquired by Google for 500 million. So I think, Google is being successful, not because of search engine algorithm. It's because of the data. So I think data is very, very important here still. Even though, you're having this very top-notch algorithm, you might be better than Google. And then you want to find something that Google and Facebook don't have yet. And another thing is, I think for auto ML, it really makes sense for Google to actually develop it. Because they can sell more Google storage, Google Cloud storage. It's really sustainable for them, and also more TPU. So yeah, that's my take. Yeah, my suggestion.
Yeah, totally agree. That's why we say we designed our platform at the very beginning to be able to learn from users' training data from every single model that we have built for our users. So that when you accumulate that data and learning over time, you create a barrier. And that's the data we have that Google doesn't.
Any suggestion for you entrepreneur?
The reason we started, so I'm just telling our own story. So I believe it could be totally different for others, but I'm only familiar with now. So it's very simple. So in my career and in my partner's career, so we have been going through different applications. For my own, I used AI in cybersecurity for antivirus, spam detection, and then I moved to ads readiness. It's very challenging and a fundamental problem for any search engine. So we invest hugely on that, build technology, build a platform to improve the relevance. And we develop our own methodology to do those things. But then I went to local search. Search engine relevance, there's lots of similarity, but actually the real business and the data we're dealing with is quite different. So it's to be frank, it's more complex than the data. So, but the methodology I have learned in my career can be reused here. So so I keep doing this for a couple of years, then I got kind of tired because I'm not learning new things. I'm reusing methodologies that I learned before, and it works pretty well. And I'm educating the team and fixing the same. Basically, you repeating what we have done in the previous team, in the new team. Identify similar problem. Everyone making the same mistakes. Relate the same lessons. Literally, it's different data, but the mistake is the same. And there are engineering issues, there are algorithm issues, and different approaches that team haven't tried before, and the same mistakes they made. Everyone makes the same mistakes. For example, the simplest mistake we have seen across every single team I worked with is when we built the model. So we don't have strong testing. We didn't have strong testing, let's say, for consistency between the offline training and the production. That makes the model work pretty well, supposed to work pretty well in your, not actually working well in production. So we keep doing those things, and then I'm tired of it. I want a generic solution, build our knowledge into it, so that we can avoid people making the same mistake. So even we believe, because I myself was the kind of customers needing this type of products. Without today's automated technology, we're in great need of such products. So I was the customer. I would be the customer if the product was available years ago. So that's the fundamental thing for me, to recognize this opportunity for me to start the startup, because I would be the user. So that's very kind of easy for me. If you are building, of course, if you are building a solution for a different industry, it's different. But unfortunately, because AutoML applies to machine learning, it's the industry I myself was in. So I see that.
Is there anything you want to add?
I'm just saying, so the reason why I became an early stage investor is because previously I was trying to start my own company, and then I actually met this group of amazing people, and then I decided to join full time. And when I went back to Stanford and talked to students, and I always say, if you wanted to be an investor, you can do it now, and just recommend me one or two startups that you really like, and then you're an investor, and just add value to that person that you really respect, and you become that person sooner or later. At least you can be around with her or him. So I would say the same thing. If you wanted to be an entrepreneur, and you can do it on the side. You can do it on the side, create something, and make some friends, and see whether you're really passionate about what you are doing. And maybe, getting a corporate job is good for you. Maybe you don't like that kind of always like surviving mode, and maybe you like it. So I think you can do it now. Yeah.
All right, that finished my questions. So we have another Q&A session. Feel free to ask any questions to our speakers.
So, yes, thanks for giving this talk. It's very interesting. So, I have a question. I was a little bit confused with your logic. One is saying is you are kind of more data give you like a higher barrier for other competitors to enter this field. But I think since the system is kind of automatic, why not you kind of using a lot of open data computation side like Kaggle or whatever to kind of improve on your kind of the controller? Is that a possibility or is it's possible to some degree. So there are two things. One is say we can essentially because we have shared model, we have shared AutoML model. You remember the controller I described? We use the same controller on every dataset, on every application. So if I have seen similar applications or similar datasets, or more precisely, the dataset, the new datasets I'm seeing sharing some characteristics with the other older datasets I have seen, then I should be able to infer what kind of model structure works better on this data. So that solves the cold start problem. So, and fundamentally, this controller is trained by the model I have built and I have evaluated. Think about it, the training data of the controller contains the validation examples and the model I designed, the previous models I designed, and the evaluation results. That's kind of training data for the controller. So this training data can be fabricated from expert designed models, for example. So I have new dataset, a public dataset, and for example, image classification. And there are many expert designed models to start with. So I don't have to force my controller to start learning the image classification model from nothing. It doesn't have to start from very trivial models. It can start with DenseNet or other complex models. And then by reusing those models and evaluating them on the validation set, we can learn which model performs well on which example. So that's the training data I have. I can collect it myself without customers involved. For the Kaggle problem, it's the same thing. I can do this. I can even not only I can reuse the Kaggle datasets for this purpose, but also use the winning models and directly learn from those models. But unfortunately, lots of winning models, winning solutions in Kaggle use the data or very domain-specific knowledge, which cannot be generalized very well. So, but because we're building a generic platform, we have to make sure for example, the feature engineering we build can be generalized to different applications. And and we have limited, because we don't know which domain the data is from, the application is about, then we have limited ability to introduce additional data. So that's where the limitation lies. So we can do some of it, but not all. So human knowledge actually does give, let's say, human scientists some advantage in this area, because I know the application. I can think about other data, maybe data without labels, which I can collect from other sources and find ways to use in my design, in my solution. But our applications, AutoML cannot do that because it doesn't really understand their domain. It doesn't have common sense knowledge. I hope I've answered your question.
Any other question?
So I have kind of a two-part question, right? It seems like the most interesting aspects of data that you want to work with in ML, like defaults or sales, even they're rare. They're rare events. So how does your AutoML handle that?
They're rare events. So typically, so it's a problem not just associated to AutoML. It's associated to, for example, click prediction. If you consider as binary classification problem, it's highly unbalanced. That's the nature of the data. So the traditional algorithm dealing with it, still have to find a way to deal with it. So we do use the same method as traditional method. For example, for unbalanced data, we try to crack the ratio between different labels, and adjust our loss function so that we can produce a correct model. So there are other ways to do it, but this is the primary way that we do it. So basically rebalance the data, but adjust the loss function so that we don't learn a skewed distribution.
As long as you're not changing the fundamental nature of the problem, right?
Right.
If it's cancer detection and you pushed up the sample to be 20% from 1%.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And actually we made it parameter, so we automatically learn how much we should push it.
Okay, fair enough. The second part of the question is, now that we want to look at rare events, how do you deal with the non-stationarity of rare events? Because it's sort of in the background of the time series and everything else.
There are certain transformations that happen, making the problem a little bit easier after certain smoothing function. But most importantly, you can see the process as you can see the problem as how do I say that? I think the right answer to this is we don't.
You don't take care of.
Yeah. So some model take care of it. Some, especially the simple model, so the model ensures that. But some model doesn't. And essentially, we leave it to the automatic controller to figure out what works better on this data set. That's the feedback process. We don't have manual mechanism that force it to be stationary or not. So think about it, because we can take the feedback and adjust. So if one method, one particular approach doesn't work on this data set, based on the validations, based on the metric calculated on the validation set,
okay,
the chance you design such model on this data set becomes smaller and smaller all the time. That's how you learn it doesn't work.
Fair enough, but you gave an example of sort of sales prediction, right?
Mm-hmm.
So maybe, the aggregate is stationary, but sales doesn't have to be stationary.
Mm-hmm.
Because the very fact that you have sales induces changes in behavior of customers,
mm-hmm,
so that they will wait for the sale and change their own behavior.
Mm-hmm.
And your AutoML can take care of that?
So basically, it's a mix of, because I think when you think about this, you think it like a traditional time series data. But we do allow customers to introduce other attributes along with the time series. Those attributes help us explain why those things are changing. So for example, if without promotion data, promotion can be provided in many different ways. For example, it can be discounts, it can be numerical attributes, or you can just use text that describes the kind of promotion you are running. So without this kind of information, when you say like a sudden increase in sales, that will affect your prediction, because think about it, I'm just learning the average over a window. Then the average will be shifted just simply because of the sales spike. Because you know there's a promotion going on, you can explain it better by consider it the consequences of the promotion instead of the stationary sales trend. So that's where basically machine learning model help you separate those things out. It's similar to when you do it manually using traditional approach. You introduce holidays, for example, to help you explain the changes in the sales. It's the same thing. It's just that in this case, holiday is relatively simple for human to define, but the impact of promotions and other factors or other product sales is a lot harder for human to define it clearly. That's why we rely on the model to learn the pattern automatically.
So Walmart has different competitions for Christmas sales, for weather changes, for seasonal changes, and sales changes.
That's like kind of really assuming this is exogenous. But what I'm saying is the difficulty for an auto ML is that you get to start to evaluate systems that being the observer participant in changes the behavior, and then auto ML has to adapt to that. Otherwise, it's certainly not as good as anyone else, or perhaps not as good as a human person could see this, right? Even ad targeting, the more you target people, people avoid it. So, I mean, the examples keep going on, and then you have a non-stationary environment where your convergence criteria may not even work.
So essentially, you have to see that behavior enough times in your training data for the model to learn it.
Well, if it's non-stationary, you won't see it. We're talking very dense.
Rare events, certainly no. There are limitations on what you comment.
Yeah, I think it's a data sufficiency question, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's a data sufficiency question.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So
fundamentally yes. So this way we can only learn what your data reflects.
We can have more in-depth discussion after the event. I would say that's the end of today's episode. Student, thank you very much for taking your precious time to share insights in technology, AI, and investment. And thank you very much for coming tonight. This is the 5th episode of DTalk. And if you want to know more about the future events, you can follow the hashtag DTalk on the Twitter, and also the Sync Global. We are a global AI communication Sync. By the end, I will always introduce myself. My name is Tony, and I am a Silicon Valley-based tech reporter, reporting any stories relating to AI technologies. So that's it. Thank you very much for coming. Thank you. Have a good night.
Thank you.
这个会或者什么可以分享？
有没有说过我他的操作？